Chronological Bible in a Year Reading Plan, Day 64. Today we were in Numbers 23 through 25. We got to see the end of Balaam's story, but we see that God talks to him. God uses him 3 times to bless the tribe of Israel rather than curse them as he was hired to do. But the thing that stuck out to me in all of this is in chapter 23, verse 19, he says, God is not a man that he might lie, or a son of man that he might change his mind. Does he speak and not act, or promise and not fulfilled? And so we see him blessing the tribes of Israel the way God has chosen to do so. But having read this in such these large chunks together, we see multiple times God was ready to destroy them, but each time God relented. And that's going to come important because the next scene we see, the Moabites, the Midianites, the tribes around them, they can't defeat Israel in battle. And so instead, they try to get Israel to leave their God to worship the false gods of their nations. And here we are told that Israel starts to prostitute themselves with the women around and start worshiping their gods at their requests. And this is going to be a consistent problem for the history of Israel. But God tells Moses, you need to kill all the people who have left me to worship these gods before it spreads like a great disease. And in fact, God does so by giving them a plague. A literal plague to put an end to this symbolic plague until one of the priests, a grandson of Aaron, takes a spear, stabbing it through an Israelite and the woman he's with, and that ends the plague. And this time, 24,000 Israelites were killed. We see that they're turning away from God to worship what the cultures around them worship, led to more death than likely the wars. And it made me start to wonder what dangers around us, around the modern church, threaten us greater than physical violence. What are those ideas, those beliefs, those lies that can hinder our obedience? That can hinder our obedience and our reverence and our love for God. I would love to hear your thoughts. What are some of those ideas, those false gods that we are currently at war with that are keeping us away from authentic worship? And how can we put those to death, devoting ourselves wholly to God? I'm looking forward to hearing what you say and seeing what comes next. And until then, God bless.